Hello. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. This is Dr. Christiana Latimer, and I am super excited that you guys are going to be joining me tonight. So I have been talking about it for a while now. First of all, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I'm super excited about the new year being here. Listen, I had planned on doing this little live series that we got going on. I don't know, at least a month ago. And then I was going to do it over, Christmas break. And that just did not happen. So we are here now, though, and I'm super excited. I'm super passionate about mental health, emotional health, just living a stable, consistent lifestyle full of joy and excitement and peace, regardless of your circumstances. Some of you guys know my personal story. Some of you don't. One day I will dip into that. This is not the day I'll be dipping into all of that. But my point being is that just like most people, I've had a whole lot of things happen in circumstances that could definitely cause you not to feel joyful, not to be full of peace, to be very anxious and nervous all the time. And God really took me by the hand and helped me to begin to cultivate and develop a lifestyle, not just a moment or a season, or like this is my season for joy, or this is my season for peace. Not as something that's seasonal, but something that is lasting, with peace and harmony and consistency. Welcome. Come on in. I'm recording this, so I got started right away. But welcome, Dr. Latimer here. I was just sharing that I've had a lot of things go on in my life that could cause me to have a lot of anxiety and to be very frustrated in different areas. But the Lord took me by the hand and really has helped me learn how to cultivate a lifestyle of joy and peace and consistency. And part of being able to cultivate a lifestyle of joy, peace, and consistency is being willing to learn your core values. And so today is all about me just sharing a couple of nuggets of why learning your personal value system, your core values, it's so important. Many of us are not living our own core values out. We are living other people's core values. Things that other people said it was important, other people's values, things that they think should take priority. And a lot of us shape our lives around the expectations or the needs of other people, especially if you wear a lot of different roles or hats in your life. It's easy to allow yourself to live according to the needs of the people around you, or the expectations around you, the obligations that you have, or the responsibilities that you may carry. And although we all know that we have to help take care of people around us and we have responsibilities and obligations, but those are not supposed to be the things that we center our core on. Our belief system needs to be set by what God has honestly put on the inside of us, and for us to take that time to be able to seek him, for him to reveal to us, what did he place special on the inside of you? When he was thinking of you, when he was crafting you, what were the thoughts that he desired? What was the personality that he wanted to give you? What were the priorities that he already has intended for you to have? We are setting our schedules and our lives around the priorities of others and not necessarily the priorities that God may have intended for us. And that's why I really find it to be super important for us to discover our own personal value system. But welcome. Hello, everybody. I'm seeing familiar names and faces all in the comments. I love y'all so much. Happy New Year. Welcome. So let's talk about these values, okay? Let's talk about values. And tomorrow I'm actually going to share with you how to really identify your core values. Like, there's a whole workshop that I used to do on this of over 250 different core values. Like, there are a gazillion different values that you can have. And it is important to take the time to really narrow down your core values to like the top 3 or the top 5 out of like 250 options. getting it all the way down to 3 to 5 core values is not necessarily an easy task, but it's an extremely valuable task to do, because the reality of it is your core values change over time. And the reason why I find it so important for us to learn how to live a value-based lifestyle is because our values change as we grow and as we mature. What we used to value when we were teenagers is totally different than what we're valuing now in our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Your values change, but a lot of times we'll start working off of an old paradigm. Like, we maybe used to really value spending time with our friends, like that, friendships was like a really, really big deal. We never wanted to be alone, always wanted to be around people. And so you built a life where you always just were around people, always wanted to be with people. Well, 2 decades later, and the way your life has changed, that no longer may be a core value, but maybe old friends still think that it is, and there could be some friction there. So a lot of frustration that I find, I am a counselor, so I talk to people about their problems and what's going on in their lives a lot. And I find that a lot of reasons why people are struggling, are frustrated, or feeling stuck, or feeling like they just are not as fulfilled as they would like to be in their life is because they have not taken the time to check in with themselves to see, what do I value now? They are allowing their responsibilities, their obligations, the needs of other people, their expectations of other people around them to help shape and mold their life. And they're feeling a sense of frustration. They feel like they're not fulfilled. They're feeling like they're not able to really materialize where they thought they would be by now. A lot of us had expectations like, by this age, I'll be doing this. And by this age, I'll conquer that. And by the time you get to this age and that age and you still have not accomplished that which you thought you would, it can be very depressing. Like the quarter life crisis for the 25-year-old who's not where she thought or he thought he would be. It's real. The midlife crisis for the person who's turning 50 and it's like, now what? How does the God want to use me now? I have no idea what I want to do with my life. I've already raised my kids. I've been married. That's kind of, I'm either divorced by now or it's rocky, or maybe my marriage is good, but I still don't personally feel fulfilled, or I don't know what's next for me. A telltale sign of knowing that you're just slightly out of alignment is when you can't tell what's next and you have an anxiousness around it, because sometimes we don't know what's next, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's a problem, because we have peace. But if you don't have any peace and you're feeling frustration, or you're just feeling blah, like I just don't feel like I'm getting the most out of my life, then that's a telltale sign that you need to evaluate your value system. Your mindset is going to help dictate what your values are, and your values dictate your decisions, and your decisions dictate your life. And so I want to take us all the way back to the mindset piece. What are some core beliefs that you have about yourself that maybe need to be addressed? That's one thing that we should do. You can't really set up your value system until you take a deep dive internally of what do you truly believe, not what you say you believe. You can say, I believe that God will take care of all of my needs. I just believe that. But everything about your actions say that it's totally your responsibility, and trust is really not present. You may say you trust God, but you're always anxious. You're always up all night. You're always trying to figure out the numbers, figuring. When you're like always trying to figure stuff out, that's clear. You may say that you're trusting that God will do it, but in your core belief is that you've got to figure it out. That's the core belief that you actually have. And if that's not a core belief that you want, then that shows you a starting point of, how do I change that core belief? Because I don't desire to always have to just figure it out. I really do want to learn how to trust and rely on God for my needs in different areas. Another reason why value-based living is so important is because it just creates a sense of authenticity. Because if I truly value warmth and kindness. I don't want to be around people all day long who do not value warmth and kindness. I shouldn't pick positions where I'm going to put myself around people where that is not their value system. Now, if it's an assignment, if God puts you somewhere where the people are not like you, that's one thing. But if you keep picking different opportunities or different places to be, knowing for a fact that the people around do not carry the same values as you, then you're doing a dishonor to yourself to continuously make decisions that you know go against the grain of just where you personally stand. Now, I told you guys, asterisk, caveat, if God puts you there, if you know that it's an assignment from him, that's totally different. It's totally different. But when you know your values, when you know the 3 to 5 things that really just make your own heart light up, that are just really important to you, it helps you improve your decision making. Have you ever just been indecisive, just like, I don't know what I want to eat. I don't know where I want to go. I don't know who I want to call. I don't know where I want to hang out. You just feel like you just cannot make any decisions whatsoever, or you're always super, super indecisive. That also is a telltale sign that you have not gotten super clear on your value system. When you know your personal values, what you stand for, what you believe, and how you desire to have your world framed according to you spending time with God, because we are not our own Lord. Y'all, I don't want to get preachy. I've chosen today not to get preachy, but just know I can be preachy. And these values that we're talking about, they're not just the values that you're picking for yourself. This is you seeking time with God for him to reveal to you the value system that he has placed on the inside of you. So I just want to make that little clarity there, because I think that's just really important. But when you know that, when you know for sure, I value family time. If I value family time, then I am not going to take positions or opportunities that's going to rob me of family time. And if I'm in a position that is robbing me of family time, then I know I need to make a different change. I need to have a conversation. I need to talk to my supervisor. I need to look at my schedule and start blocking out time that's like strictly for family, non-negotiable. When you actually know your values, a lot of things become a non-negotiable for you, because you are aware of, this is where I stand. This is what I believe in. This is what I desire. This is what God has for me. When you don't know that, you will allow yourself to be tossed to and fro to everybody else's agenda. Everybody else leaves early because they know for sure they got to go to soccer practice, or, they need to go see their mom. And so you're left holding the bag because, they're clear on their value system, but you're not. So now you're the one taking the brunt and taking on obligations and responsibilities that are actually not yours. They're not always yours. Another little point here, why having a clear value system, like these are my values, these are my core beliefs, is that it helps you have greater resilience. So I'll give a personal story. I am fully persuaded that God is a healer. That is just a core belief. That is a value that I hold. I believe that God is a healer. So even if I am seeing sickness around me, even if I feel sickness in my own body, even if I see sickness in my husband or people around, or I get a call that something is going on, I have a greater resilience to what I may see with my eyes, but I focus on what I believe. I can see with my eyes that there's a problem. I can see with my eyes that someone's in pain, or I'm in pain, or the situation doesn't look good. But my value and my core belief is that God is a healer, and he is willing and able and wants to heal me and whoever else I am praying for. I believe that. So because I believe that, I have a much greater resilience to opposition when something in front of me is presenting itself to not agree with what I believe. It's like, no, but I just know for a fact that he's a healer, period. Like, there is no doubt in my mind about that whatsoever. And so I'm able to stand firm and be anchored in that truth. And when I'm anchored in that truth, I always see God come through. Like, I literally always see him come through. So Another reason why a value-based living is important is that it helps enhance your well-being. When we feel tossed to and fro, when we're always anxious, always frustrated, or just annoyed or bored all the time, just idle, like your mind's just like all over the place, that is not a healthy place to be in. Having an idle mind is the devil's playground. And if you are letting the devil run around in your head rent-free, you are not enhancing your well-being. It's very difficult to have peace when you are not settled on what you know to be true. Peace will just get up and walk away from you if you are not settled in what your core beliefs are and what your value system is. And your well-being, for you to be well, to feel well, for your soul to actually prosper, you need to have a sense of certainty about what's going on in your life. Even if it is crazy, did you know you can be in complete chaos and have complete peace all around you? Internally, because the issue is not the chaos. The issue is when the chaos comes on the inside. When that storm that's swirling around becomes a storm that's swirling on the inside of you. But God is capable of giving you an anchored peace. But that's a value of mine. Peace is a core belief. I believe that I can have peace. The word of God tells me to let peace rule. So that tells me that I have an option here. I can either let it rule over every other emotion that I'm feeling, or I can choose to not. The word tells me to let not your heart be troubled. So here we go. When I talked about why it's important to have value-based living, it's like my mindset, my value system helps me make decisions. So I can make better decisions if I'm clear on the fact that I believe that I'm going to let peace rule. I don't believe that God would tell me to do something that I was incapable of doing. But that is a core belief. I have a core belief. What the word of God says is true. And what the word of God says about me is true. And that is what he desires for you. So that might not be the scripture that you can cleave to, but there is a word in there that you can cleave to. He will help you frame your world with his word. He will help you. He will absolutely help you do that. Does anyone have any questions for me? I'm going to press pause because I know I can talk a little fast. But anyone who's here live, do you have any questions for me around value-based living before I give you maybe 2 or 3 more points of why it's important? And I'll give you guys a moment because I know sometimes there's a little lag on lives. Hello, everybody. I wish I could say hi to everyone with some kind of emojis, but just know that in my heart, I am giving you all emojis and big hearts and love and all the things that I do see you guys on here. Hey, Miss Pat, hi. So, okay, just know heart, love, stars. I'm sending it all to you. I'm sending it all. So another really important reason why value-based living, hi, look at all the hearts, hey guys, is important is because it helps give you clear priorities. Clear priorities. If I know my values, what I believe, then I know my priorities or how to at least pick my priorities. I'm in a much better position not to just take on someone else's priority list. So if you've ever been in a job and you are a very particular person, like you keep your area neat, you've got your to-do list, you just are that person that just has it pulled together. And then there's always the coworker who's like a whirlwind. Okay, just a whirlwind, just never really knows where they're coming or going, not super organized, takes your things, puts them out of place, all that kind of stuff. But you feel bad for being clear that, I don't have time to take on your to-do list because I have my own. You have a sense of I always want to be a team player, and it's nothing wrong with being a team player. But when you're clear, hey, my values is that I like to control my time. My time is valuable and I can't just take on your whole to-do list because you didn't get it done. There's nothing wrong with saying hey, I have no problem helping you with that, but I got a couple of things that I'm working on. As soon as I get done, I'll get that for you. But when we're a people pleaser and coming from a recovering people pleaser, we will have our own long to-do list, and then someone else says, hey, by the way, could you shoot this email? Or hey, by the way, could you pick up this? Or hey, by the way, can you do that? And you feel bad and you want to be helpful. So you go ahead and take whatever it is that they asked you to do real time. You stop what you're doing and then you do what they asked you to do. And now your list is still not getting done. There's nothing wrong with creating a boundary. Boundaries are not mean. Boundaries are necessary for you to be able to have clear priorities and to enhance your own well-being. It's extremely important. And because if you do things for people and you feel irritated and frustrated, and now you got an internal attitude about saying yes to something you really didn't want to say yes to, well, whose fault was that? At the end of the day, that was yours. It wasn't that other person's. We may want to put it on the other people, but the truth is that was your fault. And so on, I think that's Thursday, I'll be talking about how to set boundaries and how to identify if you have imbalances in your life and how to create healthy boundaries and systems. But that's not today. That's later on in the week. Last two things of reason why having a value-based lifestyle is so important is positive social impact. It is so amazing when a person knows their value system and what they believe and their core beliefs, because the way you can show up in the world for yourself and for other people is just amazing. It's just such an amazing gift when I see people who value telling the truth. So my husband, for instance, is one of those people. He is a truth teller, honest, gives it to you straight, no chaser, just very direct. I'm more of a sugar-coated person. I can be direct if God is telling me to be direct, but I'm a little more sugar-coated. I don't know if that's a surprise to any of you or not, but anyway, I digress. But if you have a gift of being direct, do you know how many people's lives can be saved by your direct nature? You saying like, you know what, I know sometimes people think it's mean, sometimes people don't know how to take me, but I'm willing to just know, like, honesty, truth, and directness is just a core belief for me. It is just something that I value. When you bring that to the table, it really does help the environment around you. Now, there's a way to be direct without hurting people. And that just takes time for you to grow and mature in your directness. But it is something that can truly create positive social impact, because somebody has to tell people that you're wrong, or that's not right, or that's not the way that goes. But on the flip side, let's say you value being a safe space. You value being non-judgmental. Like, you know what? I'm just a non-judgmental person. I like being a safe place. I like bringing comfort to people. I love being a great listener. Like, I value being a great listener. Oh my God. The impact that you make is profound, because people need safe places where they can share their heart, what's going on in their minds, and can sense and feel from your presence that you're not going to judge them. For people to know that you are a place of comfort, that you are a place of peace. My best friend, Janae, she's one of those people. My prayer is that she will leave this live even believing that, you know what, I value being a great listener, because I change atmospheres because of my ability to listen. That's a gift. That's an absolute gift that should be valued and celebrated. You don't always have to be the person. Chatty Cathy. I'm Chatty Cathy. I know that I'm Chatty Cathy, okay? Like, I recognize that. But it's a gift to be able to do small talk, because not everybody can do small talk. And I value that I'm capable of doing small talk, because I learn a lot about people without a lot of effort. But that's something that God has given me. But that takes time to discover. A lot of our gifts that we've had them since we were children, but we just really didn't take time to have them developed, or someone told us that we were to this or we were to that or whatever. And we have to grow past that and get to the place and say, you know what, who am I? I want to know who I am, but I want God to reveal that to me. So I'm going to make space for him to do that. I'm going to make space for God to show me my value system so I know how to present myself to the world so that I can have positive social impact for his kingdom and for his glory. And last but certainly not least on here is legacy building. When you have strong values, so there is a saying that my husband is giving my daughter right now, and it is, hard work is good work, and good work takes time. And I just love, and then he starts like building upon it, but she's only 6, but she knows this phrase, hard work is good work, and good work takes time. One of the things that my father taught me was to not skip steps. Not skip steps. So I might see how to reach my goal only doing 1, 3, and 5. But if it's 5 steps, he told me do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Do all the steps. Christiana, do not skip steps. And I have found that to be invaluable to me. But that was not necessarily originally his value system, because he did everything quick and fast and skipping all the steps to get to where he was trying to go quickly. And when he could see that in me, he gave me a new mindset to not skip those steps and to make sure that I took my time so that way what I was building could be solid. So legacy building, when you know your value system as God sends people for you to minister, or if you have children or people that you encounter, what will people say about you? What will, when they think of your name, what are those few things they just know for sure that will come up? When you're clear on your value system and who you are and your core beliefs, it will be very clear the legacy that you are building for yourself and for your family. And truly, we're just all part of God's story. And when he wrote the story out, he had the ideal of what he wanted your legacy to be for the blip of time that we are here. There's things that he wants for you to accomplish that really can only come from you. But if we are always focused on others' needs and others' responsibilities and obligations and always so indecisive or just so quick to not take time to let God tell us what our value system should be, we're going to have a hard time trying to fulfill that. And you're going to feel just a void that you just can't quite get filled until you allow him to reveal to you what your value system is and how it looks and changes over the years. All right, guys. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk today. No, I'm totally kidding. I'm fine. But I really do. If you have any questions or thoughts about that, as you can hear, I am super passionate about you learning your value system. Tomorrow when I go live, I'm actually going to give you the exercises on how to do that. So you want to bring, pen, paper, journal, or watch the replay, and it's going to be more workshop style. So I will be like pausing, giving you time to think about it or write it down. Yeah. That is all I have for you guys tonight. Any thoughts or questions or concerns, please leave them in the comments or shoot me a message. And I will be back tomorrow with some more tips and some other practical ways and journaling prompts for you in order to help you start identifying what your core beliefs currently are and how to find what your value system should be. All right, guys. I love y'all so much. Have a great night.